Corpbiz.
Hello everyone, my name is Sushri Das and I am here today to provide you with a complete case analysis of the landmark case of trademark dispute named Varun Gems versus Precious Jewels and others. So let's begin. The case of Varun Gems versus Precious Jewels and others was an outcome of the infringement of legal rights obtained by a registered trademark under the Trademarks Act 1999. The case brought into question the use of the term bona fide as mentioned in section 35 of the Trademarks Act 1999. The order of the case was passed on 6th October 2022. Firstly, let's get a quick overview of the Trademarks Act 1999. A trademark can be a name, sign, or mark that separates one business from the other. It acts as a symbol of business recognition and ensures the trust, quality, and service of a particular business to be its own. By registering a trademark, a business ensures that its name, mark, or sign cannot be used by any other business or any other competitor in the market. The law of trademark in India had no existence before 1940. It had caused several problems of registered and unregistered trademark infringements, which was resolved by the Specific Relief Act 1887 and the Indian Registration Act 1908. Later, in 1940, the government had enforced Indian trademark law to overcome these issues. The demand for trademark protection increased significantly after the law was introduced. The Trademark and Merchandise Act 1958 replaced the trademark law to protect trademarks and prevent merchandise fraud or misuse. The act also allowed the registration of trademarks to get illegal rights over them. Later, the Trademark and Merchandise Act of 1958 got replaced by the Trademark Act of 1999 by the government. The act compiled with TRIPS, which is short for Trade Related Aspects of Intellectual Property Rights, recommended by the World Trade Organization or WTO. The objective of Trademark Act 1999 is to provide security and protection to the registered trademark users and provide legal remedies for implementing them. It gives the right for the police to arrest in cases of infringement of trademarks. Now that we have a grasp on the basic concept, let's discuss the case in detail. The judgment of the case was passed on 6th October 2022 by the Honorable High Court of Delhi, where the parties were as follows: Appellant Varun Gems versus Respondent Precious Jewels and others. The quorum constituted of Honorable Justice Mr. Vibhu Bakhru and Honorable Justice Mr. Amit Mahajan. Now, what were the facts of the case? The facts of Varun Gems versus Precious Jewels and others are that the appellant Varun Gems had been running a jewellery business under the registered trademark Rakyan Fine Jewellery. Mr. Jitendra Kumar Rakyan is the managing partner of Varun Gems and is also related as the paternal uncle of respondent number 2. The background of the case is that in 1951, late Seetal Das Rakyan, the father of Jitendra Kumar Rakyan, started a jewellery business in Delhi under the name Seetal Das and Sons. Subsequently, in 1961, Mr. Seetal Das Rakyan formed a partnership between 4 partners: Mr. Surendra K. Rakyan, Mr. Rajendra K. Rakyan, Mr. Virendra K. Rakyan, and Mr. Jitendra K. Rakyan. 1 year later, in 1962, Mr. Surendra K. Rakyan retired from the business and moved to Jaipur to start a separate business named Rakyan Jewellers in partnership with his uncles. The remaining 3 partners stayed in Delhi, continued with the same jewellery business under different names, and gradually constituted their firms. Later, in 1978, all the partners of Seetal Das and Sons formed a new partnership firm named Virendra Kumar and Co., which was later reconstituted as Seetal Das and Sons in 1982. After that, all the partners of the newly constituted partnership firm Seetal Das and Sons started their separate business under the name Seetal Das Jewellers at various places in Delhi. In 2000, Jitendra Rakyan opened a shop at M31 M Block, Greater Kailash, New Delhi, and got a trademark of Rakyan Fine Jewellery in 2005. The trademark was registered under the name of the partnership firm Varun Gems. Later, in the year 2011, Mr. Rajendra K. Rakyan's son and Mr. Jitendra K. Rakyan's nephew, Mr. Ravi Rakyan, also opened a shop at M32 M Block, Greater Kailash, New Delhi, by the name Daimes, which was located right next to Jitendra K. Rakyan's shop. Later, in the year 2012, the name Daimes was changed to Nina and Ravi Rakyan, which caused an issue in the trademark dispute between the name Rakyan Fine Jewellery registered as a trademark under the firm Varun Gems and Nina and Ravi Rakyan of Ravi Rakyan. An ex parte injunction was granted in order dated 1st June 2012, where the respondents were restrained from using the name Rakyan or any other mark which is deceptively similar or identical to the trademark Rakyan's Fine Jewellery. The respondents appealed the decision to the division bench and later to the Honorable Supreme Court. The Honorable Apex Court vacated the injunction. The appeal was filed for the order which was vacated under the injunction for the following reasons. 1. The court concluded that the hoardings of both shops did not have any similarity. 2. According to section 35 of the Act, there is no prima facie case in favor of the plaintiff. Therefore, there was no reason to restrain the defendant, so the impunged order was quashed and set aside and the interim relief was granted in favor of the plaintiff. The proceedings were not participated by the respondent and the ex parte order was passed on 11th July 2017, where the appellant led the evidence. Even though the respondent had not contested the suit, the single learned judge dismissed the suit on the ground that the Supreme Court had removed the interim injunction on the following grounds. 1. The plaintiff was not entitled to the injunction given under section 35 of Trademarks Act, which allows anyone to run a business in his name in a bona fide manner. The defendants were running a business in the name of a bona fide manner, which was not a dispute. Secondly, also both parties were from the same family and the whole family had been running a jewellery business. And thirdly, there was no similarities found within the holdings and of both the businesses. Now, let me guide you through the essential sections that were involved in the case. Section 2M of the Trademarks Act 1999, which defines mark, that can include a device, heading, brand, label, name, ticket, signature, letter, word, numerical, packaging, the shape of goods or a combination of colors of any combination thereof. Section 35 of the Trademarks Act 1999. Saving for the use of the name, address and description of goods and services. Section 35 of the Act explains that no proprietor or a registered user of the registered trademark shall interfere with any bona fide use of the name of a person or his place of business or any character or quality of goods or services. Section 28 of the Trademarks Act 1999, rights conferred by the registration. Section 28 of the Act gives an exclusive right to the trademark proprietor to use the mark about goods and services in respect to which the same is registered. Section 29 of the Trademarks Act 1999, infringement of the registered trademark. Section 29 of the Act provides that a registered mark is infringed by a person who, not being a registered proprietor or assignee, uses a mark which is identical or deceptively similar with relation to the said goods and services, and also if the use of the said mark is likely to confuse the part of the public. What were the issues that were raised in the case? The issue raised in the case of Varun Gems versus Precious Jewels and Others was that the court had rejected the appellant's plea for restraining the respondent from using Rakyan or any other name or mark similar to the registered trademark Rakyan's Fine Jewellery, and allowed the respondent to use the name for his business. Now, let's discuss the arguments of the case. The issue raised by the case Varun Gems versus Precious Jewels and Others led to the argument that the order of dismissal of the injunction was ex face, onerous, and based on the prima facie view of the court. An argument was also raised that the evidence once submitted must be accepted unless it was contradicted by the way of cross examination and is sufficient to dislodge a prima facie view that the plaintiff is not entitled to injunction. The appellant also raised an argument stating that he had no objection if the respondents continued to use the impunged mark or the name unless it was not used in connection with the business from the adjoining premises in the same market. Now, the decision held by the Honorable High Court. The court had set aside the judgment passed by the single judge which vacated the injunction. The court, in the order dated 6th October 2022, put an injunction on the respondent for using the name Rakyan or any other name on the mark similar to the registered trademark Rakyan's Fine Jewellery from any shop which is located within the radius of 2 kilometers of the appellant's premises. Now, finally, to conclude, I am going to give you an analysis of the case briefly. The case of Varun Gems versus Precious Jewels and Others had highlighted the use of the term bona fide. The plaintiff during the case had established that they had done various activities to promote the brand Rakyan's and Rakyan's Fine Jewellery. The plaintiff also established that the defendant's business name Daimes earlier had been changed to Nina and Ravi Rakyan, which caused confusion between both plaintiff and the defendant's business. With this evidence submitted by the plaintiff, it can be said that the use of the name Rakyan was not bona fide in nature. The fact that they had changed their business name to Daimes, as mentioned earlier, and that the business was commenced from the adjoining premises is sufficient to conclude that the defendants were not entitled to the benefit of Section 35 under the Trademarks Act 1999. So that concludes our video on the case analysis of the landmark case of trademark dispute titled Varun Gems versus Precious Jewels and Others. For more such information and queries that you may have, you can contact Corpbiz from the details provided below. At Corpbiz, we have an excellent team of experts who can assist you as per your legal queries. You can also comment down below any of the questions that you may have. For more such videos, subscribe to our channel. Thank you.